Okay, I'm jigging up this head again here. I made up my tool here. I also bored the hole over there. I had the head completely out of the jig a couple days ago. Finished up my tool here. I got two leveling pads. I can level it this way with an indicator, and I can also level it on the side over here. That sets the rotation here of the head. The angle plate here sets the angle going this way. So then all you gotta do is do the rotation off the head bolt holes. I was putting a block underneath this bolt here from here to here, but the bolt holes are so inconsistent in his head it doesn't work. It's not even close. So I wound up making this like this, and it's a lot more accurate. So I just put this whole head back in the machine, and right now I just indicated in my hole right here. So you can see how the needle's not really moving any. Pretty much even. And my numbers up here, 3.425 and 2/10 and 43 and 1/10 on the plus side. Now the 425 is what I did. That's the dimension from here to here. That is accurate. Now the 43 thousandths number, that should have been 50. So rejigging this head up, I'm 5 thousandths off. My guess is when I recentered my rock arms here to put this pin in there, I came up with a 5 thou difference the time before. It looks like the angles and rotation are very damn close. If you're repeating within less than 1,000, that's pretty close. So that's what I was trying to do, is come up with some way of coming up with a spark plug location and depth that would be damn accurate. So now what I got to do is I got to take a measurement from here to the height of where my spark plug sits in the hole down here. Where's my plug at? Here's my 3/4 plug. I did it without the thread, just so I can drop in quickly. So that's where the spark plug will sit now, and that's centered up in between this area. Harley originally had this 50 thou further over, so it was over here. It was close to the intake side and exhaust. So now I centered it up in the finning in here. So that gives you a lot more clearance for getting your socketing out. It also eliminates having that cut inside the port over here, which weakens the head on that. I've also changed the angle, so it used to be standing up more this way, now it's laid over this way more. And that makes it line up better on the inside of the chamber. And it also gives me more clearance to get the plug out underneath the set of gas tanks. And it also allows me to fill this whole back area in here with aluminum more. And the heads I got to cut over here. Stuff out of the way. Now this here is a 4-fin head, so you only got 4 fins here. So this 5th fin is what this is. This is a 5-fin head. So you got 5 fins. So Harley made the change in the later 50s on these castings. So if you have a true 56 casting like this one is, that is the 5-fin head. If you have the one that says 56 on the bottom, it is a 4-fin casting, which is a carry out from the earlier mold they used. So there's a couple variations. So your 55, 6, and 7 heads are different than your 58 and later heads. And 55 is by itself too. 55 is small fins, 56, the early 56 head, which used in 56 and some of 57, had this big fin head, but I only had the 4 fin here. Later 57, 58, they had the 5-fin version. So, and they put the number up here on the inside instead of on the bottom underneath. So Harley makes lots of changes. Anyway, this head here, I wound up filling this whole thing in all the way up to the first fin here, which is this fin up in here. So all this was filled in. This head here, I just did it for mock-up to see where things are at. And I haven't decided if I want to continue filling that all in, which strengthens the head quite a bit, which I do like, because it eliminates all the thin area up there between the valves where they always crack. But I'm not sure what it's going to look like after I cut this to death, because I got to cut this very deep in. So I'll make a decision on that, how I'm going to do this down the road. But for now, you can see there's a lip down in here. It's about probably about 150 thousandths deep pocket there. So you're going to have a pocket or you're going to have a fill-in area. So I haven't decided yet. Like I said, this head over here, when you're looking at it here, if you look in straight, is there. If you're looking straight on this, you can see how deep it is. So that's different. So this is going to get sunk in probably 3/8 of an inch from where it is. So the other thing is I got two different size cutters here that I made. I have a 1 3/16 diameter with roughly an eighth inch radius, but slightly modified. This one here is a 1 1/8 inch cutter, and this is a full 1/8 inch radius here. This one here I kind of made a little bit different shape to it to get more what I was after. So this is actually the size that the stock heads are down here. That's what this here right here is this one. So this one here is bigger, so it puts more radius and gives you a little more room for your spark plug socket, which is right here. Obviously we've got plenty of room in here, but I'm thinking for looks wise the bigger cutter might make it look a little bit better. You can also see how much of this was cut away over here versus this one here where this is all filled in over there. So you can see how much changes things were made here. Alright, so right now I'm going to go ahead and get my depth set from here to, from this surface up here down to here, so I know how deep I put this one in. And then I'll show you what it looks like with the head off the jig here so you can see what the spark plug looks like. So I'm going to check that right now. Okay, I got my cutter in here, and you can see how this jig here works. So I got a 10,000 feeler gauge in here right now. I brought the quill down here and locked it down right here. So this is set for our height. And I put this at 90 because it's 10 thou thick. So when I put this to 0, this cutter will be right up against the surface. Now I don't want to have the cutter right on the surface because you can nick the surface. And obviously after you do that a few times, you're no longer at a 0 position. So that's why I got the feeler gauge in here. We damage the feeler gauge and not anything else. So right now we're locked in, so we're going to back this up a little bit, get our feeler gauge out, and then we'll go ahead and push this over here where we're going to cut. And we'll see what we got. Alright, so we're going to put this at 3.425. Which, flew right by that number. There we go. Get on the right one, that helps. Pull back a little bit, make it easier for you. Okay, this one here, we're going to put it at 50. Actually, this head was 46, so I'll use that number for now because that's what it's cut at. I'll put that on 50 when I actually cut them for real. So now we got a big gap right in here. So all I'm going to do is, this here is free to rotate by hand here, just by turning this. I marked it in red so I can see where the cutter touches. I got one marked there, I didn't get all redded in though. Yep. It helps to mark the whole thing, so if you actually see anything, you know it's actually cutting. Alright. Fix that problem real quickly. Okay, so now all I gotta do, I gotta crank this up until it hits on that, which should be somewhere between 14 and 15 turns, which this is one turn is 100 thousandths, because it goes from 90 right here to 0, so that's 100. So I'll just count these turns as I rotate it, and it should go up to 15 pretty easy, but you just kind of spin it like that, and when it quits spinning, you know you hit something or you'll feel it. So for now, I'm just going to go start moving up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Spin that. 13, 14. Okay, there's 1.4 inches. And you can see how we're spinning freely. Okay, spin out a good number there. And you can hear it just touching. So we're at 35 thousandths right now. So right now I'm hitting on the side of the radius somewhere. Okay. We're at 50 right now on the dial. Just move that up where I can get a hold of it. Hard to do with only one hand, but we'll make do. Got a chicken out there, a rooster. Okay, right now we're cutting the radius. Get about 2 thou each time I go down. There we go. We just touched. You can see the mark down in there where it's hitting. Right there. And our gauge over here is on 71. So that means we're 1.471 is where we contacted. So we'll go over here and write that number down real quick so I don't forget it. Looks like what I had before was 1.470. So we have a 1 thou error in the mock or in the rejigging. So that's a very, very close number. Okay, so that number came out good, so I'm just going to leave that number. 1 thou I'm not going to worry about. Get this out of the way. So now you can see what the hole looks like. So you can see the air, we're only hitting on half the hole, so another thou, we'd probably clean up the rest of it, 1.5 thou. So either way, we're within a couple thou of our repeatability, which is very, very close. So that makes me happy. This thing repeated that close. That means you got a good jig. If you can repeat, that's good. The jig sucks for strength because it's so flexible. That's why we have these chatter marks in here. So I'm gonna have to make me a real jig here later. It's gonna hold this head on a real off the table here. But for now, this is what we're gonna do because I gotta get these other heads done. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out, and we can look at this head off the jig.